I was going to do this outside, but it's pissing it down, so I'm in the comfort of the shed. I wanted to talk about our industry today. We're an industry that's made up of artists, people who have often had to do more than their 10,000 hours to basically start by playing something, bowing something, blowing something, or singing something, and it's sounding like utter shit. And in the case of bowing something, it's sounding shit for a decade. And where there is that certain kind of dedication to artistry, you'll always find a very steep hierarchy forms. And where you get those steep hierarchies, you get a protectorate, a wall, a gate. And where there are gates, there are gate keepers. Show me where in literature there is one good representation of a gatekeeper, whether it be in Shakespeare or Wizard of Oz. Which leads me to the question, Sean Combs, aka P.Diddy, why the children's entertainer name, Sean? A gatekeeper of a huge part of the music industry. Is Sean Combs, P.Diddy, Puff Daddy, is he a cunt?
We only got 2 weeks to do this whole album, complete it, mix it down and everything. We don't have time or the luxury to spend doing one song. We don't have it. We gotta somehow just find a way that we can double up on it. Cause I did my whole album, I know it's bad, but I did my whole album like 3 songs. Cause I was just laying it, rocking it, then getting off. Had niggas that love being in the studio all had the drum beat at the time and shit. You can do that after the rappers leave. Niggas that love being in the studio, that just love listening for the right kick. But for while we in here, and you got like 8 rappers here, and everybody drinking.
Support is offering the tools, the strength, the fortitude, advice, guidance, confidence, and love that's required for people to satisfy the dedication that's required to succeed in a business and an art form that is, I won't even say competitive, that requires such huge, varied cognitive resources. It's an industry that sucks people in and spits them out. And whilst they're in the machine, they're being controlled by this threat of being spat out, the threat of ostracism, which for any mammal is death. Every breath you take and every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. I think Sean is hiding in plain sight by grafting that song onto what he claims is an elegy for his fallen comrade, Biggie Smalls. It's possibly the most misunderstood song in pop history. It's a song about obsession, about control, about stalking. A wolf surrounded by the woolly coating of an extraordinary guitar riff by Andy Summers. I don't know the ins and outs of the P. Diddy stuff. I think it's easy to make light with the baby oil and the, whenever there's people like sex workers involved, it seems to be fair game. Regardless of the details, there is one unifying storyline, plot trope that goes between these types of characters, the Epsteins, the Savills, the P. Diddys. The list within the entertainment industry is long, and that is silence. Silence for a long period of time. I'm talking an era, a generation, until often, posthumously, the silence is broken by that of dozens of broken souls. And for me, I'm not an expert here by any means, but for me it points to one thing, that these people have been silenced by the threat of annihilation. And no one without a complete absence of a survival instinct wouldn't question their own part in their personal annihilation. Can't you see that you belong to me? How my poor heart aches with every breath you take. It's a really dark song, and there's interesting nuances in there. So it's not fancy use of language, it's not poetic, but it's both threatening and self-pitying. I wrote the music for a film, Biggie and Tupac, filmed by a guy called Nick Broomfield. And anyone who's worked with him will know that it's a very involved process, and there are many, many cuts. He takes a lot of footage. So you get kind of ensconced into his world, which is in turn the world of whatever he's investigating. And with Biggie and Tupac, it was the world of Death Row Records and their rivalry with Puff Daddy's, as he was called then, clan. Was it Interscope? Excuse me if I'm wrong there. And regardless of who did what and who killed who, and if you're a Tupac person or if you're a Biggie or an East Coast or a West Coast, everyone within these emerald cities were subject to a degree of exploitation, expectation, and also sublimation. The people who owned and ran these record labels watching Untouchables and Goodfellas every night, fancying themselves as those guys, and that doing business that way was the right way. These ideas of being completely owned, a little loan here, a little help there, a little support here. Every move you make, every vow you break, every smile you fake, every claim you stake, every single day, every word you say, every game you play, every night you stay. It's a volley of abuse. It's a volley of gaslighting, psychopathy. Why is the industry like it, and why are people like this? Why do we keep hearing about these utter monsters? Well, I think there are many reasons for it. I think that the industry is really good at supporting people not growing up, not being responsible. I think it's an industry which attracts narcissists, narcissism, egotism, but also is an industry that is made up of people who are by and large quite introvert, neurodiverse, who are terrible with people. Someone I worked with, Chad Smith, drummer from Chili Peppers, he said to me, you could never understand why a small island off the continent of Europe could create so much great music until he spent a summer here. He said, your weather's just fucking awful. You clearly don't know how to talk to women. And as a nation, he's saying, not just to me, you clearly don't know how to talk to women, speaking as a man from his heterosexual point of view, and terrible shags, terrible fucks. The only chance of an Englishman has of having offspring is to lock himself out of the rain, out of the way of people he finds difficult to talk to or indeed fuck, and learn how to play the guitar. I was talking to a psychologist this weekend, actually, about this phenomena, and she said it's separation anxiety. And I was like, what? She went, yeah, it's not always narcissistic injury, narcissistic threat. It's basically finding someone or someone's ability or an idea of someone that you think will fulfill you and make you shine more. But on the flip side of that, if that thing, that entity, that person, that talent is to walk away, then you yourself will suffer in some existential manner. And it's a very understandable mammalian thing. It means it's why we like fucking Dachshunds, even when they won't let us leave the fucking house. So if you are in one of those relationships where you are being coerced and controlled, where you are being exploited and mistreated, where you are being threatened, it may be helpful to think, oh, this is separation anxiety. They're basically a dachshund. They genuinely, at a inner core level think that you going away, but going away and thriving, going away and surviving, going away and not being ostracized, they fear that that will actually do some form of actual objective damage to them, which is why they want you to go away in the sense that they want you to disappear. They want you to be banished beyond the city walls. So I'm going to start something next Thursday based on YouTube, once a week, where we can come together and talk to each other about the various challenges that we face within, whether it be EQing a hi-hat, writing a good tune, forging a career, or struggling to maintain one, or indeed to discuss with each other how to deal with difficult people and circumstances. The thing that unifies the stories that surround those gatekeepers is one of control, of abuse. These corrupt, psychopathic individuals who are playing on the greatest fear that you have and we have as mammals, is being ostracized from this very specific thing that you have laid all of your eggs into, this specific basket, this thing that you have worked harder than anyone in your class, year, possibly school, the support of your support network, your family, those people around you have invested in you, the help people have actually given you, the person who has lent you that instrument, the years and years and years of work that you have put into this that leads to the Emerald City with the gatekeeper to enter you into a pact for the thing they value the most, your silence, whether it be in your presence or in your absence. So I really do hope you can join me next Thursday. Details in the video description down below. The P.Diddy thing has made me sit in front of these cameras to apologise because what I dreamt of, what I'd hoped for, we haven't quite got there yet, but I'm going to try. So do join in, and it would be great to hear from you, speak to you, for you to join us, or if you can't on Thursday, watch the video thereafter, and let's see how it goes over forthcoming weeks. If we cannot provide each other with the most valuable thing to us on our journey, support. And with that, may I offer you my love and thank you for watching to the end. Ranty, waffly business. Do subscribe, do ding that bell. Lots of magic stuff coming up. One of those always much appreciated. Comments down below. I always look at them.